All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Paul Rieckhoff. I'm the CEO and founder of Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America. I'm also a 9/11 first responder. I served in Iraq and helped found IAVA here in New York City when I got home from a tour in Baghdad. I wish we didn't have to be here today. We really shouldn't have to make veterans issues a priority for New York City. Not far from here is ground zero. That was when the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan began for many of us. But we're coming home to a city that doesn't appreciate that veterans should be a priority. We put forward some pretty straightforward recommendations, and we've asked for an audience with the mayor, but we've been denied. And that's unfortunate, because New York City can be the #1 city in America for our veterans. Over 200,000 veterans live here in New York City, and they are leaders, they are a resource, they are civic assets, but they're not a charity, they're an investment, and New York City needs to invest in them. So we've called on the mayor to show real leadership. Number one, we've asked him to support our legislation to create a Department of Veterans Affairs. That's a reasonable response to serve 200,000 people in the greatest city in the world. But unfortunately, the mayor has opposed that. Councilman Ulrich has stepped up. We've got over 40 co-sponsors here at City Hall, and we hope the mayor will get behind us after today and support that legislation. We also need a real budget. Right now, we only spend about $600,000 in New York City on veterans. A budget of over $70 billion, and we only spend $600,000. And compare that to Boston, that spends over $5 million. That breaks down to about the same amount that it would cost for a cup of coffee for each veteran in New York City. We should spend more than a cup of coffee on the people who defend our freedom and continue to serve right now. As we stand here and ask for our mayor to step up and show us support, our brothers and sisters are fighting and dying in Iraq and Afghanistan. That shouldn't be the way. Finally, we need to see the mayor's plan. We're military folks. We appreciate planning. And the mayor has promised us a plan for over a year. Just last week, this month rather, the Commissioner Sutton was on New York One. She said their plan will be coming this fall. This fall. That means our veterans have to wait almost 2 years from the time the mayor was elected to hear about his plan to support us and our families. This is common sense. It's not a partisan issue, and we've seen everybody from all backgrounds, all political stripes come together to support our veterans. That's why these folks are all here. All generations, not just Iraq and Afghanistan, and many different organizations have bound together. I also just want to note this is happening in the midst of real crisis in our community. You all heard about the VA scandal. Just yesterday, national news covered another possible scandal at the VA in the Bronx. Over $50 million may have been misallocated. Beds are being closed in Brooklyn at the VA. This is happening right now. But you're not going to hear anything about that from the mayor because he's disconnected from our community. He needs to meet with us. He needs to spend time with us. And the Veterans Advisory Board last month had a new meeting, a new group and a public meeting where folks opened it up to the community. But surprisingly, this month, they've rescheduled the meeting. They said it's not going to happen this month. That's a terrible missed opportunity for the mayor and the Veterans Advisory Board to hear from folks around the city about what's concerning them. We don't want to fight. We want a mayor who steps up and leads with us, that understands the value of a veteran. And today we want to thank the public advocate for stepping up with us. She understands that our veterans are leaders here in New York City, and we've got some of the most amazing public servants in the world, and she appreciates the voices of our community. She is a true public advocate. And she understands that veterans issues are not just a veterans issue, they're a community issue. This means something to everybody. So we really appreciate your leadership and you stepping up today. In our membership across the city, over 10,000 Iraq and Afghanistan veterans stand with the public advocate today and stand together here on the steps. We're calling on all New Yorkers to be advocates for veterans. It doesn't matter how you feel about the war, it doesn't matter who you voted for. We need your help in stepping up and demanding better support and better services for our brothers and sisters. And the mayor really has to ask himself, do you honestly think you're doing all you can do for veterans? That is the question our city is asking. Can you do more? We believe you can. And the budget is a perfect place to reflect those priorities. And we believe that the great veterans of this city deserve more than just a pittance when it comes to the city budget. Also, veterans weren't even mentioned in the city budget. Do a search, try to find the word veterans in the budget. If they're not even mentioned, how are they really a priority? And look, you don't have to take our word for it. Go to the city's veterans website right now. Try to find resources. Try to find something that can help you in need. You're going to come up empty. The resources have been dramatically reduced. And I think it's important to note that our organization, IAVA, is the fastest growing organization for veterans in America. Over 40% growth last year. Over 10,000 veterans across the city and the state. And we've met with the president about half a dozen times in the last year. The President of the United States has made time for our leaders and people like Tyreek. We don't understand why the mayor can't do the same. Finally, folks, go to IAVA.org/NYC Vets. You can learn the facts. What we're asking for is pretty straightforward. Pass the reasonable, urgent legislation proposed by Councilman Ulrich and supported by over 40 people in city government, including now our public advocate. Increase the budget to adequate levels and show us a plan. We're standing by to support you. In the military, we adapt, improvise, and overcome. We shouldn't have to overcome our mayor. Our mayor should be on our side. But if he doesn't work with us, we will work around him. And we also call on the Speaker to bring the legislation to the floor for a vote. Put it on the mayor's desk. And if he wants to veto legislation for veterans, then he can answer to the people in New York City for that. But we hope he won't. We hope he'll stand with us, do the right thing, and help us craft a path forward that supports our veterans and unleashes the power of their leadership on our great city. We want to again thank the public advocate for being here, and we'd be happy to take your questions. Thank you, everybody. Yes, ma'am.
Two-part question. What was the explanation you were given for if any, for the cancellation of the meeting? And the other question is, the mayor on the proposed bill to create a separate agency, he said that he doesn't believe that every issue requires an independent agency to deal with that issue.
Sure.
He says that the agencies are all working together.
Let me deal with the second issue first. The federal government disagrees with it. That's why we have a Department of Veterans Affairs. We've learned that lesson and created the VA. Talked to folks like Max Cleland. Bob McDonnell has a pretty big challenge on his hands, and I think that our president and our country has understood that it's a social issue, it's an education issue, it's a housing issue, it's also a national security issue. If you don't take care of your veterans, folks are not going to sign up to serve. So I think the mayor is very out of step with most leadership at the city level and at the national level. He's definitely out of step with progressive leaders across the country who understand these issues, and we hope he'll reconsider. Answering your first part of your question, I'll send you the email. They basically said they were rescheduling. They wanted time, I believe, to add the new members to the VAB who have yet to be named. But that didn't stop them from having a meeting the month prior. It was the first meeting that they had public. They opened it up to the community. Plenty of people showed up. And then this month we're not having a meeting, which really, I think, clamps down on the transparency. It doesn't give new members of the VAB an opportunity to hear from the public. And it doesn't give us an opportunity to talk to you all, the media, and continue this issue going forward. We're not going away. And our coalition continues to grow. We've got tremendous support from the cops and from the firemen and from sanitation. About 30% of IAVA members work in government. So we span almost every agency and organization in the city, and we're not going away. So we hope the mayor will step up. He's here today. He can come down right now and meet with us. Last time we were here, he was in Iowa. And it seemed like he cared more about the positions of people in Iowa than he did about the veterans in the city here in New York. So appreciate your question. Appreciate you guys being here. We need you to cover this. Veterans issues don't often get covered. They're not sexy, but these folks deserve it and our issues deserve it. And July 4th is coming up pretty soon. We missed an opportunity with Memorial Day. We called on the mayor to meet with this group and others. He didn't do that. Instead, he had a photo op with folks who were in town from Fleet Week. Run the names of the folks that he met with. Most of them are probably now on a ship somewhere. They don't live in New York City. They're not representatives of the organizations that are working every day in this city to help veterans. Another thing that I just want to put out, IAVA is standing by for veterans in need of help. Our rapid response referral program has helped thousands of veterans across the city. If you go to IAVA.org/RRRP, go to our website, you will get a response within 24 to 48 hours. A licensed clinical social worker or a master social worker level person will get back to you, and we can help you with your issues, including helping you navigate the VA and navigating city resources. If the city won't have your back, we will. We sat down with Councilman Ulrich last fall, at the same time we sat down with Commissioner Sutton, and we presented a very thoughtful plan that you can find on our website that's been up for a long time. It's a blueprint for what this city can do. Councilman Ulrich took it and ran with it. It created legislation and heard our community has been moving forward. The mayor's done the opposite. So the plan is there, we just need a leadership. So I want to thank you all for coming out, especially on a hot day. I know it's warm, but as we're always reminded, it's a lot cooler than it is in Iraq and Afghanistan right now. And those are the folks that we're here to represent. We appreciate you coming out. We hope you'll stay on top of these issues. And thank you again, Republic Advocate. Thank you very much.